George, a tough time around the block on Sesame Street, at least, or for its parent nonprofit, Sesame Workshop. This was featured in the New York Times as reported elsewhere, but Sesame Workshops, the organization is losing its HBO contract. Remember, Sesame Workshop moved from PBS to HBO. The shows subsequently get syndicated on PBS, but HBO is essentially the source of revenue for them. That contract is expiring and they have no replacement in sight. That's not the end of it. The Doge era cuts, particularly the cuts to USAID, the US's aid agency, also hampered Sesame Workshop's humanitarian programs. George, this is kind of a little known fact, I think, outside of the sector, but Sesame Workshop administers what's considered one of the largest and most important early childhood intervention programs globally. And they were running what's essentially early childhood development programs for kids who are refugees, victims of violence, surviving conflict in the Middle East, Asia, Africa, and elsewhere. And Doge particularly spun up a lot of dis and misinformation, quite frankly, about these programs, accusing Sesame Street of running, quote, Sesame Street in Iraq. And George, I have a quote here from Senator Joni Ernst, who said, USAID asked, can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street, and ended up in Iraq. George, it's worth noting that the reason this programming is in Iraq is because of the fallout from the US-led invasion of Iraq, and why, I think a good explanation for why USAID is programming resources for kids surviving conflict. So really sad to see kind of this position here.